Hello guys, and welcome once again to another edition of the Retro Review. This is the only video series here on YouTube where I review Coliseum home videos. Now of course each review is voted upon by you, the fans. You have 3 choices, and whichever one gets the most votes is the next Retro Review. Now these next 2 reviews that I'm going to be doing here are part of the special Vote 2 series. So, we'll get into that, or I'll get into that in a minute. But, I do want to say that these videos, if you're looking for them at stores or online anywhere, you're not going to find them. The only way you can really find these videotapes is through eBay, through Amazon, through many different places. Those are the only ways you will find these treasures. Well, let's get into it. This first video that I'm going to be, or the video that I'm going to be reviewing here today, is another installment in the Best of the WWF video series. This is the Best of the WWF Volume 10. Oh boy, where do I begin with this one? Well, I can tell you that this videotape is hosted by Mean Gene Okerlund, and that's really one of the rare highlights of this videotape. Now we start the tape off with a very interesting 6-man tag team match. Hoss Funk, Jimmy Jack Funk, and Jimmy Hart against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Junkyard Dog, and the Haiti Kid. Now pretty much the whole focus on this match is, when's Jimmy Hart going to get involved? Which, if you think about it, is not that bad of a story. You know, when does Jimmy Hart get involved? But we do see some good action with Steamboat and Jimmy Jack Funk for a little while, and Junkyard Dog and Jimmy Jack have some good action for a little while, and they mix around for a little bit. And we do see, for the most part, some good action. And the Haiti Kid does get involved on his team a little bit, including Junkyard Dog throwing the Haiti Kid onto Jimmy Jack Funk, which almost gets the Junkyard Dog and his team to win. Now, towards the end of this match, Jimmy Hart does get tagged in, and he starts going after the Junkyard Dog, and he keeps kicking him, which eventually does little to no effect. And then Junkyard Dog tags the Haiti Kid in, and Jimmy Hart and Haiti Kid, they're running around the ring, all 6 get into the ring. And in the end of the match, Junkyard Dog grabs Jimmy Hart, Hoss Funk with the megaphone hits the Junkyard Dog over the head with it. Haiti Kid then goes over, and for a moment, Hoss is thinking about hitting the Haiti Kid with the megaphone, but instead he just picks him up and body slams him down, pulls Jimmy Hart over onto the Haiti Kid. 1, 2, 3, the Funks and Jimmy Hart win. And actually, I gotta say, it was somewhat of an entertaining opening match. Then we go to this match. Tito Santana against Cowboy Bob Orton. Now, I'm going to make this perfectly clear right now. I have nothing against Tito Santana. I have nothing against Cowboy Bob Orton. The problem that I have with this match is the production team that put this video together. Because during the introduction of this match, Gene Okerlund is saying how Bob Orton, one of the few nicknames that is mentioned with Bob Orton is the Mechanic. Here's how this match works. Get the first couple of minutes of it, and then they jump a few more minutes. So we get a couple more minutes of action, then they jump. You get a minute or 2 of action, they jump. Jump, 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 jump. This match is so clipped. It is ridiculous. And I feel so bad because, honestly, I'm sure that this match is a really good match. It's just Coliseum Video, for some reason, decided to mess this whole thing up, and decided to just put like maybe like an 8-minute version or a 10-minute version of this match together and to put it on videotape. This match does end in a 20-minute time limit draw. Santana and Orton are fighting after the match. They each push the referee down, and thankfully for them, the time limit had expired. Otherwise, this would have been a double disqualification. Now we go back to tag team action as we have the Machines going up against King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd. Now right at the beginning of this match, Bundy tries to attack both Machines, but the Machines move out of the way, and they both try to slam Bundy, but it's really botched and it didn't look good. Then the Big Machine goes after John Studd, and he body slams Studd, getting $15,000, and the crowd goes crazy. Then a minute later, and this was actually funny, Bobby Heenan is at the announcer's table, and Gorilla Monsoon is interviewing him, and he's like, you owe $15,000 because Big John Studd got slammed, and Bobby's like, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Which was actually sort of funny. It's a good heelish way to get out of paying money. And we go a little bit forward into this match, and Studd has one of the Machines held up. Bundy's trying to hit him with an avalanche, but instead he hits his own partner by accident. And it looks like Studd and Bundy, they're about ready to go at it. They're going to fight each other. And Bobby Heenan gets them together, calms them down. Cooler heads prevail, as the old saying goes. Then Bud and Stundy do get the advantage for a little bit, but the Machines do find a way to come back. And in the end of the match, Super Machine hits a running elbow, or running back elbow, on the Big John Studd. Pretty much knocks him out. He's got the pin. 1, 2, and here comes Heenan into the ring, breaking up the pin, and then he goes after the Super Machine. Referee calls for the bell, and then eventually Big Machine gets back into the ring, chasing Studd and Heenan out. The Machines win as a result of a disqualification. Next up is a tag team title defense by Brutus Beefcake and Greg Valentine against Mike Rotundo and Danny Spivey. I am sure that this was originally supposed to be Barry Windham, but I guess Windham either left the company or got fired. I don't really know what happened. But Spivey is in there as the partner of Rotundo. Now, again, Mean Gene says something in here, and it's so false. Where, Luscious Johnny Valiant is their manager. He's there for this match. No, he's not. He's not there at all. This is not a good match. It just felt like it would go on and on and on. And I'll tell you a funny thing with this match. At one point, for like a second and a half, they lose the video of the match, like the coverage of the match. Like it goes black for a second and a half, and it's sort of funny. But I do like the ending of the match where Spivey goes for does an O'Connor roll on the Beefcake, and he does have him pinned. Referee's counting. The Valentine gets into the ring. Rotundo gets into the ring. They're fighting. The referee sends Rotundo to his corner. Beefcake does a forward reverse of the O'Connor roll, and he gets the 3 count. Beefcake and Valentine retain the tag team titles. Now, one interesting thing I do want to say about this match is if you watch Danny Spivey, he's sort of got the Bruiser Brody-like boots, the fur all over, the boots. It's sort of weird, but it's cool to see. We keep Brutus Beefcake in action now as he takes on Billy Jack Haynes. Now, this is... Well, let's start with the beginning of the match. Johnny Valiant takes Billy Jack Haynes' hat, which gets Billy Jack upset, and Beefcake attacks him, and that's how this match starts. Now we go a little bit further, and Gorilla Monsoon mentions how he had a chance to talk to Billy Jack Haynes, and Billy Jack Haynes said to him at one point, about a year and a half ago, that WWF had actually offered him an opportunity to be on the roster, and Billy Jack Haynes said that he felt he was not ready to be a part of the WWF. Think about that. You know, we're in 1986, or this match is in 1986, and Billy Jack Haynes said to Gorilla, you know, I had this thought a year and a half ago, I'm not ready to be in the WWF. That's sort of a bold thing to say. Can you imagine any of these wrestlers today saying that? You know, like, hey, we want to give you a developmental contract. Oh, you know, I don't think I'm quite ready yet. That would be very bold to say. So the end of the match, Billy Jack Haynes is on a roll. He's got the momentum going for him. And then all of a sudden, Johnny Valiant trips up Billy Jack Haynes. Well, the referee sees that, and the referee calls for the bell. Yes, somebody gets caught for once tripping up a guy. Unbelievable. But Haynes chases Valiant. Beefcake kicks him a couple times, and then Haynes fights back on Beefcake. Beefcake leaves. Billy Jack Haynes is the winner via disqualification. Now we go to tag team action, and we get Jimmy Jack Funk again. Not bad. He's teaming up with Mr. X as they take on the Islanders, Haku and Tama. Now this match features the first female referee in WWE history, Rita Marie. And I think this is actually the only time she appears on any of the Coliseum videotapes. I might be wrong. If I am wrong, I'll correct myself in a future video. But you know what? This is actually a decent match. This is a decent match put on. And you know, it's not like Jimmy Jack Funk and Mr. X are a jobber tag team. Like, for a while, they had the advantage on the Islanders. And it looks good. They looked good as a tag team. But the Islanders eventually did come back, got the advantage. Tama hit the big splash off the top, got the 3 count. The Islanders get the win. Now we go into we're going into the finale of this videotape. The return of Roddy Piper. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this was my favorite part of the entire tape. Because I thought, for this video, they did this so good. So they start off with Roddy Piper's return match against AJ Pertucci. And Piper fights 99% of this whole match with one hand tied behind his back. He's beating this guy with one hand behind his back, slapping him, gives him a snapmare with one hand, you know, holds him with one hand, knees him, kicks him, you know, punches him. And Pertucci goes to the outside. Piper follows him. He's still got his one hand behind his back. He's beating him up. And in the end of the match, and Vince McMahon and Bruno Sammartino, they're having a field day with this. They can't believe that Piper is actually fighting this match with one hand behind his back. Well, the ending is Piper sends Pertucci into the ropes, and then the other hand comes out and he hits a double, like a sledgehammer, you know, double axe handle to the chest of Pertucci, and then he puts his hand back inside the back of his trunks, puts one foot on him, 1, 2, 3, Piper gets the win. And then we go to a clip from Primetime Wrestling where they talk about the Piper-Adonis feud, and it starts with the flower shop where Orton, Morocco, and Adonis attack Piper. Piper destroys the flower shop. And then we go to an episode of Piper's Pit where Piper has Jimmy Hart, but Adonis attacks him. Piper and Adonis fight each other. Jimmy Hart gets involved, and then Adonis locks in the sleeper hold on Piper. And then we go a couple weeks after that to a match on Wrestling Challenge where Adonis throws his opponent out of the ring. Piper comes in. He and Adonis fight each other, and the other guys are trying to break this up. And what's really funny about this, and I'm not kidding, folks, is the Iron Sheik comes out. He's one of those guys that are trying to, break up the fight with a bandana on. That's funny. Then we go to our final match, Don Muraco against Roddy Piper. Now, Muraco has a beard at this point in time, so it's a very weird look for Muraco. But this is a very short match, but it serves its purpose. It's very good. It's pretty much a brawl. And then at one point, Fuji gets involved, hits Piper with the cane. Muraco grabs Piper, sends him face first into the post. Piper gets busted open. And then when Piper gets back, he starts punching away at Muraco and even bites him, which gets Muraco busted open. And in the end of the match, Piper grabs Fuji, and Muraco is running, and Piper moves out of the way. Muraco hits Fuji with a high knee. Piper schoolboys him 1, 2, 3. Roddy Piper wins the match. And something that Lord Alfred Hayes pointed out in this match, and I thought it was very good, a very good point, is this wasn't even 10 minutes. I don't think this was a 10-minute match. And Alfred Hayes points out how, they're bleeding and it hadn't even been 10 minutes. Very good point. Very observant, Lord Alfred Hayes. So what are my overall thoughts on this tape? I'm going to be honest, this is not one of the best tapes, that is out there. As a matter of fact, I would say, because this is the 10th volume of the Best of the WWF, so at the halfway point of this, I would say this is one of the worst tapes of the Best of the WWF series, because, number one, the match qualities really are not that good. I mean, the tag title match is not that good. The 6-man, while it served its purpose as entertaining, is not really the best. Number two, editing. Editing. Especially the Santana Orton match. I couldn't believe how bad it was there. And then number three, and for me, I try not to make a big deal about how, it should be about the big stars. But here, we don't get the big stars until the last 20 minutes of this tape, and it's Piper. I mean, don't get me wrong, Stud and Bundy, in 86, they're still big heels, but it's not like they're fighting against Hogan and Andre. They're fighting the machines. So it hurts itself there. I'm not saying this is the worst tape. I'm not even saying that this is the worst in the series. I do think it's one of the worst. But if you're a fan of Roddy Piper, I definitely recommend you guys getting this tape. If you're looking for just a bunch of random matches put together on one tape, I guess I'd recommend this. But really, this is a tape that, unless you are a die-hard collector like I am of the Coliseum videos, I really would not recommend you guys getting this videotape. Well, that's going to do it for me here. Hope you guys enjoyed this retro review. Come back in the next couple of weeks as part 2 of the retro review from the summer will be put up. I am Wrestling Man, and this has been the Retro Review.